Hello, everyone. We are back. Good to be here. Now, if you have joined us before and you're hearing my voice a little differently than you usually do, then there could be two reasons for that. First reason, got a new microphone, so that's exciting. Let me know what the quality is like. Second reason, I am a bit sick still. Was sick the whole week. It is a flu season for anyone joining us who has small kids in school. They know the issue. The problem is that they bring them all kinds of viruses, and that is a little December Christmas bonus that we usually get. So, but either way, it's good to be here. We're ready to do this thing, and I'm excited to rock this event because it's a big one. It's the exciting one, so I couldn't miss it for anything. But before we get into that, as always, just a little check. How's the microphone? How's everything? How are you seeing me? And are you able to see everything okay where you're watching? Because last time we had some small issue, I suppose, on YouTube. Because on YouTube we have two streams, so we have a mobile optimized stream and a regular stream. And it could be that you're watching the mobile stream on your desktop and it looks a bit weird. So if that's the case, go back to YouTube and watch the regular stream. I can see Adam is already joining us as well behind the scenes in the studio. Hey, Adam, I can see you. All good. I'll give him a second to get set up, and then I'll bring him on. And I'm very excited, as I said, to have him on here. Adam is a bit of a legend, so very very excited to get this thing going. So I think it's Harriman. I appreciate the comment. So everything sounds good. How's the new microphone? Sounds good. Because it's a. Let me try and show you. Let me see if I can bring it into the screen. There we go. I'm excited about that one. It's just small things that 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 All right, sorry about that, folks. Joining on a different device because maybe it's device related. So I just want to check that out, and then at least we can get the show on the road, which is what's most important. So let me get Adam on here as well, so then we can at least get Adam presented, and then Adam can let me know what the audio is like. Adam's give me a quick thumbs up if you're ready. Beautiful. So sorry about that, Adam. Thanks for your
No worries.
patience. Thanks as well for that patience.
All good.
Technology, right? Sometimes
Yeah.
it's an awesome thing ever, and sometimes it's just, you know, how it is today. You know how it is. So, Adam, very, very excited to have you here. How's it going? Let's start with that.
Um, everything is great. Very excited about 2026. Holidays
Mhm.
are here. I got a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. Christmas is next week. So yeah, all good, man. How are you?
Good. I was just telling everyone before my audio turned bad that yeah, I have a 3-year-old as well. So for us, a little bit virus season. You know, we got the flu and everything, so I was out all week. But that comes with the territory. But other than that, we're all good. Excited, like you said, holidays are here. Like Q4 December for us, you know, in our little corner of the internet is always a little bit different, I think, for the salespeople. But then, still some really exciting things happening all around us, as well as this integration right here.
Let's go.
So there's that exactly. So I'm just going to check in the comments again. Everything says voice is fine now. I had to downgrade the camera a little bit, but in the end, it's the message that counts, isn't it? That's the most important. And I don't think you need much of an introduction, Adam, because you're obviously doing very well on LinkedIn. Our B2B is, I would say, world famous, but you're doing very well. So that's why everyone is just very excited for this integration. But I would still, for the people who are joining us, maybe from the Instantly side of things, who maybe have not seen you, I would like, to just quickly talk about what is our B2B, what is it that you do, what makes you different, because in the past there were options to say, okay, companies are visiting our website, we can see that, we contact those companies, but then you guys came in, you revolutionized that. So I would love to talk a little bit about that so that people can really grasp the idea of just how massive this integration is, of just how they can actually leverage it, plug it into Instantly, and just get those results directly from their website in the end. So I'm just going to pull up a really quick slide right here, and then I think I saw, and we can start there with your website. I think I saw a post from you that you actually on purpose enjoyed making your website a bit ugly. Is that correct? Did I remember that correctly?
Yeah, my philosophy on kind of everything I do is try to be as different as possible. So
Mm,
like, I just wanted a website that like looked like the opposite of what a SaaS looks like.
mhm.
So yeah. Uh yeah, I think we achieved that goal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um
Yeah.
it kind of doesn't look like anything else out there, I don't think.
Exactly, exactly. So definitely goal achieved. And then for people who land on your website, hopefully the message gets across. But for those who haven't visited your website yet, what is it our B2B does, and why should people care?
Yeah, person level website visitor identity. And it's kind of exactly what you said before. And at this point, it's 2 years old. I mean, I think most people in go to market have heard of this, but
Mhm.
yeah, we identify the people who visit your website at the person level and allow you to do outreach to them and other people at their company if they're within your ICP.
Exactly. Because people that do a lot of things, like people are posting content, blogs, posting on LinkedIn, they're doing all these things to generate attention, but then to actually capture that attention and convert it, that's a different story. So that's where our B2B comes in, and it's just phenomenally helpful and actually, like you said, capture those people. And now you can directly add them to campaigns, which is another, like a whole new level of automation. And for me, a whole new level of excitement. Now,
Yeah.
one quick disclaimer here. I think last time I checked, you only work with people in the US or in North America. Is that correct?
So the technology only works in North America, but it's compliant for you to use it as a non-US company for your US traffic.
Sure. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because we're a US company, it's a US tech on US soil. GDPR doesn't regulate that type of technology. So it's fair game for anybody in the world to use.
Exactly. All right. That makes sense. And then in North America, so that is the US and Canada, or just the US?
It's just US, actually.
Just US. Okay, sure. That makes a lot of sense. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk a little bit about how exactly, obviously, how people can set this up, why they can now and previously they couldn't. So a little bit about, okay, the Instantly automation platform that we recently added to Instantly, and just exactly how they can plug our B2B into Instantly. And then after that, I think people would love to hear a bit from you about, best practices. What do you see your most successful users? What did they do? Because and getting ahead a little bit of myself. Let's keep this for later. But one thing I noticed, for example, that people, they say, okay, I identified this visitor, and I'm going to say, hey, I saw you visited my website. Would you like to talk? Right. So people just sometimes maybe go in a little bit direct. So later, I would love to talk a bit about what you're seeing, what works, how people leverage this technology just to get the most out of it.
Cool. Yeah, let's do it.
Beautiful. So share my screen. I'm going to show people how to set things up, and then I'll also I'll ask you to then show the RB2B side of things if you could, and then after that, by the end, if people still have any questions, hopefully we're as clear as possible. And I think it can be a fairly short one, actually, because it is a straightforward integration. But if people still have any questions, we'll get to those by the end of the webinar. So keep them coming. We'll happily answer those. So let me get rid of that beautiful image of your website and then start sharing my screen. There we go. And then there's that infinite loop, but here we go. So this is what you see if you're in Instantly and you set up the RB2B automation, right? So in order to get there, here on the left-hand side, you have that new automations tab, which is something that we're super excited about Instantly, that allows you to set up, automation. So think of Zapier, Make, and then that type of store automation. The idea is the same in the canvas that you can see once you click add new, which is also pretty much the same. It's the same idea where you have triggers and actions, and that is fairly straightforward. A trigger is when this happens, and action is then do that, right? So when I click add trigger, then I have a couple different options. You have the built-in Instantly triggers, but you also now have RB2B right here. So I will click RB2B, and then the trigger event is straightforward. Whenever a person or a company is identified, I click continue. And then I already have a webhook set up, but how you would do this is, if you're doing this for the first time, you click add new webhook, you give it a name. So I call it demo webhook. You click save, and it gives you a webhook. And that is the one that you store in your RB2B dashboard that later will show you exactly where you can plug that in. But it's just as simple as copying this value, you paste it into your RB2B dashboard, and that's everything. Then you're good to go, and everything will be synced between the two tools. And it's pretty much a set and forget it type integration, where now you hit continue, you test it, it gives you this this test data right here, and I click save, and that's everything that you have to set up for RB2B. So it literally is a 30-second thing. And now whenever a new person or company is identified in RB2B, I can then take an action. So in this case, I want to say, okay, I want to do something with it instantly. And I have two options here. I can add them to a list or add a lead to a campaign. Now, if I add a lead to a list, I can then later do further actions or further enrichments. I want to keep it a little bit simple for now, just to not overwhelm anyone. But what I can do next is just basically say add lead to a campaign. I hit continue, and then I select my campaign, for example, this one. And then it's just a matter of mapping the fields, but everything is already shown here for you. So the email goes there. Then there's the first name that goes there. I'm not going to map all of them, but that's the idea. Let me just map the last name, and then we can continue. Here's last name. That's everything. I hit continue. I'm going to test that step and I'm going to save it. Then I can turn this on right here and we're good to go. So this took me, I think, I didn't time it, but what do you think, Adam? That was 1 minute?
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
Yeah, I was talking a bit through it. So this is something you can literally set up in a minute. So now you have this integration set up, this automation set up. As I said, it is a set and forget type thing. So this is something that you set it once and you're good to go. Now, whenever someone visits your website, you get to see that. And match rate or coverage isn't 100%, but it's high. That's what I know from previously using this at agencies that I worked or owned. And match rate is phenomenal. People visit your website, and then what's next, Adam? So people visit your website, you add them to a campaign. What are some of the things, some of the best practices, maybe some of the filters or the scoring methods that people use? What are things that you're seeing on your end, Adam, that really help people get the most out of this?
Yeah, so I just, in my opinion, it's not very useful to reach out to people who are not within your ideal customer profile. So that's an obvious one. Like, however you're going to do it, whether you do it in RB2B, in Instantly, I don't know if you can do it in the workflow builder or not, like, add a filter in, but I would filter only for ideal customer profile visitors. And then there's, so in terms of what to send, I kind of want to do a little bit of an expectation management exercise here. Like, if you are unable to do outreach at all in your business, this is not going to work for you. Hopefully everybody's who's on this call does outreach. Probably a lot of you do it for a living. If you do outreach, I would just use the same copy that you're using successfully to do outreach to reach out to these people. I would not actually reference the website visit if it were me. There are a few cases in which referencing the website visit, I think, works really well. If you sell to salespeople, they get really excited about stuff like this. Like, if you sell to salespeople and you call them when they're on the website, they will get very excited. Almost nobody else in the world will get very excited about that. Most people will think that you are some kind of a spy or a creep, and they will not be happy that you did that. So, kind of number one is like, just use the outbound that you're doing already. If you want to think about, like, it's kind of like they're not even leads yet, in a sense that they haven't filled out a form, so like it's probably, they're much warmer than just pulling a list out of Instantly, but they're like not nearly as warm as a hand raiser yet. So like, just keep that in mind, right? Like, it's somewhere in the middle there. So, I would say, if I had to describe what the most successful workflow is with RB2B, it's something that's kind of like this. So somebody visits the site. If that person's company is in your ICP, then it starts some type of outreach, right? But like, not the most intense outreach you could possibly do. So if you want to think about it as a lead score, it like adds to a lead score and starts some automated workflow to reach out to these people. Now, if somebody else from the company were to come to the site, then the most successful people are then finding all of the relevant contacts at that company and doing every possible outreach to them, right? Because like, kind of like the second site visit, or like the site visit from someone else, is like that might be one of the best signals of intent that exists in the world. Like, several people from a buyer group doing research on your company. So that workflow is like essentially like the most, what is working best in my observation from like watching people use it for 2 years. It's like, and by the way, this is kind of an interesting thing you say. It's person level ID, but I think the signal is actually at the company level. Like, if like a lawyer who's not your buyer persona visits our website from one of our target customers, that's actually a really good signal. But I shouldn't be reaching out to the lawyer. I should be reaching out to the lead gen person if I'm RB2B. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
like the company's the signal, but you always want to be reaching out to the relevant personas rather than the actual individual who visited the site. So that's not immediately intuitive, but like once I kind of explain it that way, it's like, well, obviously that's the case. You want to like do outreach to the buyer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I mean that's basically it.
It's very logical. And I think in your specific use case, I think that in like you mentioned the lawyer, okay, maybe they were asked, hey, can you check our B2B? Is this something that we can use there, doing some due diligence? And that means the company is evaluating the solution, and it's just that that person is checking it out because that's part of their job, but they're not the buying committee.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. And then what I'd like to show next, that is something that I'm really excited about, is the filtering and the different options that you have within the RB2B dashboard. Because you already said, okay, someone visits your website, great. Now, obviously, there is someone has a quick skim of your homepage and leaves again. That doesn't mean anything. Then there's someone who visits your case studies pages, your pricing page, checks out your integrations. That's a little bit different, right? Then you know, okay, they're actually shopping around, they're doing research, they're actually looking at what's going on, what we can offer. And we obviously want to filter for ICP, something else that you mentioned. So that's something I'd like to show next. So I'll actually share my screen because I have it pulled up already and I can show people what I'm talking about.
Cool.
Excuse me. So let me share my screen one more time. There we go. And you're seeing this, correct?
Yep.
Beautiful. So there's the hot leads and hot pages option. I'm going to go through the hot leads option right here, where so in RB2B, you have these different tags, different filters. And then the best part is once I click add new here, then I can actually, I can set up filters, but I'm going to skip ahead a little bit and I can actually apply that to integration. So I click apply to integration, and then if applied, only the leads that match your hot leads filter criteria will sync to the integration. So the filtering is done here. You can say, okay, if the company size X, like if they fit our ICP, and you can set up different types of filters here, right? You can set it up however way you would like to. So if on a company level they fit our ICP, then great, I can sync them to Instantly. On our end, if you'd like, you can add them to a list first, maybe add some additional filtering for, let's say, personal level ICP, or you can just add these people directly to a campaign. And in that case, like you said, it probably should be your regular outreach or maybe something along the lines of, other companies that are like researching us, find this helpful to, in the decision-making process. Just a resource that would help any buying committee, for example, that could be a way to go as well. But that's something that I think is super helpful for people as they're setting up this integration, just to have the filtering done here. And then, as you said, only reach out to leads that actually match your ICP. So there's that. So that's another thing on the RB2B side that I'm excited about. But then again, I'm not the RB2B expert. So is there anything else, any other hidden gems that I'm missing, Adam?
I think you nailed it all. At the end of the day, it's if you try to abide by those basic principles that I said, which is basically like, do the outreach that's working for you in other channels.
Mm-hmm.
Take the account level signal and reach out to the applicable personas, whether the person that visited the site is that or not. And then increase the intensity of the outreach as more people from the account hit the site. That is the way to be successful with this.
Exactly. And that's also the power of the integration. Like I said before, there really aren't any like things that you have to turn or toggles or switches or things that you have to know. You don't need a PhD in outreach technology to use integration. add the tag to your website, add a webhook to Instantly, and you're good to go. So that's the beauty of it, where it's simple, straightforward, which is something that I think makes it so successful. Then I think we're getting towards the point where we can start taking questions from people. It is a little bit quiet in the chat, which could be a really good sign. That means that we're being very clear and people really know what all this is and how they can use it for themselves. So I hope that's it. But again, people, if you have any questions, then now's the time to ask them. Then I do have one question for you, Adam, because when it comes to like dog fooding your own solution, LinkedIn content has been absolutely huge for you. Is that correct? Is that your main traffic driver right now?
Yes, for sure.
Exactly. And is that how you're using it yourself as well, where okay, you're generating all this content on LinkedIn, generating all these views, you convert them to website visitors, and then you identify them and reach out? Is that the motion that you're using?
Yeah, that's the most successful motion with our B2B that we have, for sure.
Exactly, because they already have that let's say you already established that authority on LinkedIn. They already know who
Right.
you are. They think, okay, that guy has something interesting to say. They visit your website, do the research, and then once they actually see, okay, in your case, a little bit different because they actually get to see it works because they know this is what it is, but maybe a little bit skeptic. Then they actually get a message and think, oh crap, this actually really works. So I think for you is a little bit different, but I know that's something that definitely works across the board for others as well. Just convert these social views that you get, convert them to website visitors, and then try and convert them to actually getting on a call.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, we're PLG, but so we're not doing any calls, but it's the same basic idea,
Yeah. All right, so that leaves us to the question part. So I'll jump into the questions and then let's see. I think some of them are specifically RB2B, others aren't. So the specific RB2B ones, I'll leave them to you, Adam. Then hopefully together we can get through these questions.
Sure.
So Herman, thanks for sticking with us through the audio issues earlier. If I have several pages on my website, does RB2B get us the lead from any of the page where the lead came to, or does it just get from the home page?
Yep. Any leads, any of the pages the lead came to, you put it in the header, you put the code in the header of your site, and it'll be on every page. And you will see which page they came to. And you can, if you want to get super sophisticated, you can customize the outreach based on the page they hit.
Exactly. But yeah, I would say that probably score based on the page they hit. Is that correct? As in, okay, like I said earlier, case studies, pricing. But yeah, like it captures all the pages that you have on your site. Then Mr. Christoph, how could this work for home service contractors trying to connect with homeowners? That's an interesting use case. Do you have any thoughts on that initially, Adam?
So if these, look, this is kind of like when people ask, should I create content on LinkedIn for industry X, right? So I think there's one of the issues is, are these homeowners on LinkedIn? Are they ever logging in? We sell primarily to B2B software companies. Most of these people who we're selling to actually do their jobs on LinkedIn. So my LinkedIn content's incredibly effective. And then RB2B, which gives a LinkedIn URL, which we're then, doing outreach on LinkedIn and over email to a business email. With the databases we have, it's just that motion's very effective. So, I don't know, we would very likely be able to identify the homeowners. We would probably be able to give you an email address for a lot of them, and then you could do outreach. Are most of our successful customers that profile? No, they're not. It's a freemium product, so it's easy enough to try and see if you get any traction. But I'm not going to sit here and promise you that it's going to redefine the trajectory of your business, because I don't have any successful examples in that in that world of this working.
Exactly. But there's only one way to find out, is what you're saying, and I agree.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Then let me see. So initially we got a question about the audio. Hopefully not too many people left us because the audio issues, which fortunately we fixed by the end. So one other question that I can already see coming up, and again, everyone, if you have any other questions, drop them in the chat. But if your question was going to be around the replay, yes, there will be a replay available. So if you're watching this on YouTube, the replay will be on YouTube. If you're watching this on LinkedIn, then in the same LinkedIn event where you're currently watching, the moment I close the stream, then right then and there you will find the replay available, and you can actually skip past the bad audio part. But if you wanted to just follow along step by step as I set up the integration within Instantly, then that's how you can do that. So just find the replay either on LinkedIn or YouTube, and then you can from there you can follow along step by step. Let me see. So another question from Mr. Christoph is, okay, so B2B could pivot the use case to other contractors, or yeah, if it's a B2, if you're specifically looking for a B2B use case, yes, you could do that. Then again, homeowners often have professional profiles too, right? So if people visit your website, chances are they have an online profile of some sort.
Yeah,
You're able to
and by the way, I'm not saying that it won't work. I'm just like, it's free. Go try it, see what comes back. Can you reach out to those profiles and get anything back from them?
yeah, exactly.
Like the question was, how would this work for contractors and homeowners? And my answer is, I don't know. You're going to have to figure that out because I don't have any contractors and homeowners that are using it in that way.
Yeah, exactly. I think the question was also a little bit maybe about, okay, how does this work for a B2C use case?
Yeah.
Which, again, people have online profiles. So do you have any B2C users, customers?
I mean, that's just not our target.
Mhm.
We have a whole other company that sells to e-commerce stores, retention.com, but like they're a very specific type of e-commerce store. It's a really large Shopify store that we sell to. It's like a very like we don't sell to anybody else outside this 3,000 person universe. So yeah, it is not a B2C. I don't know what else to say other than we don't have B2C customers. It's
Exactly.
Yeah.
Different use case.
Yeah.
All right, then we have one out of context question for you, or a little bit off topic, Adam. But now that we have you here, I can understand people would like to know this from the guy who is famous all over LinkedIn. That is, what is Adam's number one advice for LinkedIn outreach? What works and what doesn't?
Outreach.
Do you do any? Or do you
I don't
maybe
do much LinkedIn outreach. Yeah, I don't do much LinkedIn outreach because my whole strategy is to kind of try to have viral content that fuels this freemium PLG funnel. But in general, I think the key to here's what I think is like the most incredible use case of LinkedIn, and you don't need 150,000 followers to do it. And I have a LinkedIn consultant, and he works with B2B CEOs to create this motion. So if you're creating content on LinkedIn, the magic of LinkedIn is that you can run an outbound connect campaign, get people to accept those connection requests, and then the content that you create will get put in front of them. And over time, that creates this parasocial relationship. It just builds an incredible amount of trust between you and those people. So you can basically run this outbound connection requests, and people accept connections, and then you can reach out 1 or 2 months later, and you will have an incredibly high demo book rate from someone who's been seeing your content relative to them not seeing your content, because the whole machine is just building trust for you through having people read your thought leadership content. So that is the most incredible use case of RB2B, or sorry, of LinkedIn, not RB2B.
Exactly, I can see that. So, excuse me, still recovering here. So you're saying proactively contact with your ICP, build trust, and then in the long term, just convert that.
Yeah.
Excuse me, suffering a little bit here. So that brings us to the end of the webinar of the stream. We'll let you go, Adam. Thanks very much for your time. I'll give you some of your time back. I know you're a very busy man. Then if anyone has any other questions, then always feel free to ask. Do you have any closing remarks, Adam? Any final message?
Yeah, if you want to check out RB2B, go to rbdb.com. that is the last thing I have to say about that.
Sounds good. If you want to learn more about Instantly, integrating it with RB2B, then check out Instantly.ai. Thanks, Adam. Was great having you. We'll chat. And then everyone else, replays our YouTube and LinkedIn. Check out rb2b.com. Links are in the descriptions of these events. Check out Instantly. And then for any questions, always free to reach out. Have a good weekend. Happy holidays, everyone. And we'll be back online very soon with another exciting event.
Thanks, Hans. Thanks, everybody. Bye.